shout out to women. It's Women's Month. International Women's Month. Something like that. But hey, props to women. If you're out there listening, love you all. Unless you broke up with me before, then screw you. Stay off my DMs. Other than that, man, show some love to the women in your lives. Your mama, your grandma, your aunts, nieces, whatever. As long as they're still around, man, make sure you show them some appreciation this month. If you do what I do, you can go on Google, check out the doodle of the day, see what Google has going on, and pay your respects that way. But yeah, man, I hope you had a good week this week. How your week's been? I know you can't respond, but I hope it's been a good week. It's been an interesting week, news-wise, and especially locally. There's a story that my girl put me on to this week. Something that happened at the radio station WKYS, where essentially there's a radio show over there featuring a woman named Danny Starr and two co-hosts, DJ Quicksilver and 5'9", for those of you that aren't familiar. But anyway, early this week, they were talking on the radio, and Danny Starr, the lady of the show, was putting out an Instagram ad for a nanny because their house needed a nanny. She works long hours, I guess. Her husband works long hours, and she wanted to put an ad out for a nanny. Now, apparently, the husband and her husband and she were talking, and they agreed they did not want a man there. The husband would be uncomfortable with it, so they settled for asking for a nanny. But when Danny put the ad out, she, I guess, was going over people that hit her up in the DMs on the show live with her co-host, and one of the women that hit her up, that she checked out their message. Essentially, she just said flat out no to on the air because the woman was too pretty. And that's what it was. I guess that part of the segment you can't really find anywhere. That's more so just in the news. What is something you can find on YouTube and stuff is what happened, I think, the next day on the radio, where unbeknownst to Danny, her two co-hosts invite the chick that was rejected, that Danny rejected, not directly but over air, to being the nanny. They invite her in as a surprise to the show, and had Danny talk to her, engage with her. And that's where the controversy really ensued, because Danny was hysterical. I mean, it got really bad to the point where they were arguing, and she left the studio because she really didn't understand what was going on, why they would do such a thing. And the dudes were being dudes, I guess, just not taking her side, and wanting the pretty woman to have her saying things. And we can go into who to take sides with or what in a second. But after that, after she left the station that day, she walked out and just said, if you guys want to talk to her so much, she can have her spot. And the show just continued on without her, dismissively. Only that the day after that, which I think was Friday, March 9th, she announced that she was officially leaving the radio show. DJ Quicksilver and 5'9" had to apologize, I believe, over the radio. And it was crazy because a lot of people were calling in, like, when the woman was invited, the day of the controversy really ensued. Even DJ Quicksilver's wife called in, yelled, and cursed him out over the phone on the radio for doing that shit. And that's just the sign that, clearly not a lot of people were happy that was done. And at the end of the day, just reviewing all the facts and stuff, you can think of it two ways. For one, just if I'm on a team, I'm trying to put myself in Danny's shoes. If I'm on a team and regardless of whatever else may be going on, like, I don't really listen to the radio show, so I do not know how well or how good of a teammate Danny is. All that to say, I can't understand her reacting the way she did, shocked, when the woman was invited up there by her co-host, unbeknownst to her. That didn't seem like something they did on a regular basis, so there wasn't a precedent for it. And if that's not the case, generally in radio, from what I understand, you discuss the segments of the day early in the day, or like the night before, like there's consensus or there's agreement enough about what's going to happen that next day. There's certain things you can plan for, but that's something they could have planned around and definitely dealt with better To be honest, though, Danny did one thing that the cute chick, I guess, cute, because they said she was cute. I haven't looked at her photo. I guess she could be cute. Anyway, the point they were trying to make, all the people that weren't Danny, is that, you know, pretty women get discriminated against. Yeah, sure. You have it better off in life, probably, but sure, you face discrimination, I guess. So what if you don't get the nanny job? You get free drinks, probably on a regular basis, as long as you're not, like, off-putting. There's lots of perks to just being pretty. Now, of course, there's, like, probably heightened levels of, like, street or general sexual harassment and stuff. That can happen to any woman, no matter how they look. But from what I've seen and experienced, that definitely happens more with the prettier women, especially if there's a level of intimidation involved. But either way, the issue I had with Danny that they were trying to expose is just how that she rejected the women because her insecurities about her looks or however her marriage is going, which to a degree they have a point of. Like, I was listening to Danny. She put out a video on Friday as well talking about how she forgives her co-host and things like that. The thing that bothered me, though, was that she described herself as a baddie. And just like, I mean, don't get me wrong, she's cute, but I had to look up her photo because the video she put out wasn't that crisp of an image. And like, look, she's all right. You know what I mean? Her dimples are on the strong side of the game. You know what I mean? They're definitely out there. And her smile, her smile is when she's smiling for real. Like, if you've ever just put on a sock, like if you're putting on a sock and you are pulling it up tight against your toes, that's how her chin look. It's just a weird looking face. Cute. It's like a cute weird. She's a cute weird looking chick. You know what I mean? Wouldn't say she's a baddie. She's not like ugly though. She's got one of them cute weird faces. So I think with that, she's not, if she's being honest with herself, you know what I mean? She probably doesn't actually think she's as cute as she says she thinks she does. Which definitely led me to believe that there is some self-esteem, self-confidence issues there. Which, again, the two male co-hosts, and I don't know, the Instagram model chick they invited in, had a point of, yeah, she's definitely insecure. That being said, that does not give her, the co-host, I feel, the right to pretty much sabotage her on the radio. Like, if they didn't agree and they wanted to talk about it the next day, there's plenty of ways to do it. That was basically the shock jock way. They could have had an open discussion about women confidence and, like, confidence in their marriage and how their self-esteem might affect it. Just on the radio, if that's what they wanted the topic of the day to be, they could have talked that amongst themselves. They could have at least asked her, was she willing to talk to one of the women she denied, or at least that specific woman they denied, either over the phone or on the radio before they invited her in. There's mature ways to do it that could have made for good segments that weren't allowed to happen because they wanted to pull the prank. They went the prank way. And regardless of whether you think they had a point or not, I mean, the fallout is, I'm not sure if anyone would be able to keep their jobs. Danny walked out. I have no idea about the other two dudes. DJ Quicksilver, I think, is well known enough, and 5'9", sure. Yeah, he's a guy. You know what I mean? So there is just a lot of outcry, I think, is going to be there soon, if not already, for them to lose their job or punishment to be, handed down to them. And I think there will be some sort of discipline, but it's just dumb the way they did it. And they try to put it on the face of International Women's Day, one of those made-up days, you know what I mean, made-up holidays and stuff. Not to say it's a bad one, but it's a made-up one in terms of how it came about. And let's be honest, if that's the Americans, really, we don't really celebrate International Women's Day. We celebrate it in an American way. Like, if you're looking on the news and stuff, other countries are marching around. Women across other countries are marching, like, in droves. So many in some countries that they've called strikes because of how many women are not working today, but marching in the streets, celebrating and protesting on International Women's Day. So for what it's worth, this is petty American drama. And I mean, I'm American too, but God, it's it's a story that didn't need to be, and I don't know. It felt immature to me the way they did it. Could have been more tactful, and there could have been space for discussion or an exciting segment that didn't cost everybody some sort of like trauma or even potentially their jobs, man. So that's just on the local front, man. But to sports, it's been an interesting week for sports, especially if you're following football. If you don't know, I boycotted most of last year's football games. I probably watched like 2 or 3 Steelers games, and then like 2 to 3 playoff games, including the Super Bowl. I mean, the itch is still there a little bit, but I've been slowly weaning myself off of football before even the Colin Kaepernick protest season, or protesting that started last year at the beginning of the season. But another thing that's decimating football right now is an example of what's going on in Seattle. So if you're not familiar, the Seattle Seahawks this week got rid of 2 key defensive players. One being Michael Bennett, a defensive lineman that was traded to the Philadelphia Eagles for pennies. Just a late round pick and I think a late round player from last season in exchange for Bennett and like a 7th round pick. And then that was on, I believe, Tuesday or Wednesday. Thursday, there was a rumor that they were going to trade Richard Sherman, the mouthpiece of that Seattle defense. And it was coming out through tweets and messages through him and fellow players, and there's rumors in the media. But Friday, the Seahawks actually released Richard Sherman to many people's dismay. Because if you're not familiar with Richard Sherman and that Seattle defense, they were outside of like a couple other defenses the past 10 years or so. They were definitely one of the most consistent, but they were the last great nickname defense that we've had in the NFL, the Legion of Boom, which was started about 5-6 years ago. I think a season or 2 before they won the Super Bowl. Based on how their secondary was feared across the league. They were fast, elite talent that would hit hard and talk trash to you all in the same play, and they were going to give it to you all 60 minutes of the game or however long they were on the field. And football, if you've been following and just been a fan of it for a while, if you're being honest with yourself, you would admit that it's fallen off in a lot of areas in the past couple of decades, but especially to me, building a team with players to root for. I don't know what it is, but it's especially these past couple of seasons, you've seen players getting traded for late round picks, cut for no reason just because they're a little banged up. And now it's just becoming a young dude's league. It's not like where it used to be you grew up on the same players for several years. It's not like you had Jerome Bettis, for example, was a Pittsburgh Steeler for I think several years, and you got to grow with him to his final season, where if you're a Steelers fan, you were happy for him that he got to win the Super Bowl. You were happy in his final year he got to win the Super Bowl. You don't have that kind of consistency now with teams, man. They're trading everybody for late picks and just trying to get younger. Running backs are so disposable that they probably don't even want to give them a second contract once their rookie one is up. Like, players are becoming so obviously considered or demonstrated as commodities to GMs and teams that the loyalty to the players, for me, makes it hard to be loyal to the team, especially if a new player is going to be in there every season at every different position except quarterback. It's hard to build. It's hard to have a favorite player when you don't know what's going to happen to him the next season again, unless it's a quarterback. So, and another thing about the Seattle team too, the Seattle Seahawks, the Legion of Boom in that defense they weren't just talkers in terms of trash talk of football. They were also talkers about things going outside the league and like the players' perspectives and stuff. It wasn't just X's and O's. Richard Sherman, again, the mouthpiece of that defense for his whole tenure there, just about. Stanford grad, very well spoken on a lot of different subjects. He gave you a lot of different feelings and perspective and insight from a player that you wouldn't get normally from a lot of different players. He spoke to you about social issues and social injustices. He spoke. He used this podium to speak on so many different things that it became a problem for many people when he opened his mouth. And that was something I actually appreciated. A player who was more than just football. You know what I mean? He humanized himself, being able to speak on so many different things and injustices going on. And then you have Michael Bennett, who didn't start that way, but after the Colin Kaepernick protest and talking with Colin, he became very much outspoken and picked up the stick, or whatever you want to call it, baton, where Colin Kaepernick left it when he was essentially blackballed from the league over a season ago. And Michael Bennett last year was the one that was speaking up more than any other player about social injustices faced by NFL players, by black community, the communities of color and minorities and things like that. And that was not just like with Colin Kaepernick, but maybe to a slightly less extent, because they made the example with Colin Kaepernick already. A lot of owners, a lot of teams weren't feeling that, and we see that kind of playing out now in Seattle based on who they're letting go. They didn't let go of anybody, or they didn't trade anybody that had a controversial voice on that team, potentially the other teams. They're essentially just let two of their best players go that were causing them problems and grumblings maybe between their fan base and things. And it's just sad to see, man. I am a person who would prefer, I don't know about you guys, I would prefer that, you know, if players want to speak about their thing, let them speak about their thing. You give them a podium. Fuck football sometimes, let them be humans. I feel that on you know, if they're going to deal with the punishment, let them deal with the punishment that comes now. But you give them the opportunity, if it's there, let them have their say. Whatever happens, happens. They get to fall on their own sword. You don't get to take the sword from them. So that being said, man, hey, I wish them both best of luck on their next teams, the next ventures. I know Michael Bennett went to the Eagles, so I don't really want to see that team win another Super Bowl, to be honest. But I don't mind if he succeeds. And Richard Sherman, wherever you go, if you want to become, I don't know, if you want to stay in football, whatever sport you go to, man, just shout out to Richard Sherman and the things he does. But anyway, man, I just wanted to touch on that because that's a very important piece, man. Black men speaking up in their sport that people have come down on them for such a long time. I think that the way they're being treated now, it's a bit unfair. Not unexpected, just unfair to them. But, hey, at the end of the day, NFL is a business, so that's how people want to run the teams. That's how they get to run the teams. Oh, man. Other than that, I know that was two heavier pieces. Just talk about comedy real quick so we can get into this podcast. Comedy was all right the past couple of weeks. I didn't get to do as many rooms as I like, but I'm starting to become a room junkie again. I'm trying to get at least 5 to 7 rooms as the minimum per week back going. Right now, I've been averaging about 4 to 6. I'm trying to up that to my more consistent numbers. And hopefully by the end of this month, I'll get the 2. I want 2 tapes so I can start submitting places. That means I really need to hunker down on like my 2 5-minute sets, clean and dirty, to have available to go at any time. So that's going to be the focus for the month of March. I know March Madness is going on. I know it's Women's Month, but it's also Man's Month. This man, Justin Brown. All right, thank you guys for listening. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this podcast. Thanks for waiting, guys. My guest today is a woman I came across through my network of people. Her name is Vanessa Blanco. She is an up-and-coming social media star, celebrity. I'll let her explain it better, but she has a YouTube fitness channel, and she's on Instagram, she's on Twitter. She really knows her stuff when it comes to social media, so if you want to be an up-and-coming person in that, and you want to get some of the insight of the game, definitely stay tuned. Starting this one in the middle of our conversation. Okay, so you're on everything.
Yeah, so like you have kind of like, you need to have everything in order to kind of grow. Like, one thing may grow more than others, which is like what it is for mostly everybody. Like, some things will be kind of like equal, like everybody will have the same kind of numbers on each thing.
Sure.
But for the most part, like when you're up and coming, there's like disparities in numbers and where you're at. So like, but you have to be everywhere. It's like intersectionality. Like, you need to be everywhere in order for things to kind of work together.
Doesn't that sound annoying though?
Yeah. It is annoying because every single platform has its own algorithm.
Yeah.
And every single platform requires different things. And there's different expectations, and then the people, the audience you have on those platforms expects different things. Like, they don't. So it's a lot to try to figure out. And I mean, first for YouTube, you can have content sporadically and like, you don't have to do it every day. I mean, it is advised to do it every day.
Right.
But you don't have to do it every day, and you can still build that audience. With like Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat, and all those other, Facebook, you have to do it every day in order to grow. Like, you won't grow not doing it every day.
Do you know why? Like, for me, I would assume so because people can digest more and they digest it quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or quicker on those.
It's just the types of, it's just the type of content that you have on those platforms.
Okay.
Like YouTube, it's honestly, unless you're like some superhuman person, or depending on the type of content that you do, like for instance vlogs.
Okay.
People can vlog every day and be successful because you can create content every day for that and edit. Like, because the biggest piece of it is the editing piece. That's the part that takes the longest time.
Yeah, that's why I don't do it.
Yeah. So it's like, if you try to do YouTube every day, like, it is possible, but it's preferable if you have a team. If you try to do YouTube every day by yourself, you're gonna go crazy. You're not gonna get any sleep. You're just gonna be restless and you disheveled. Like, it's
True.
just,
especially if like you have other stuff to do. I'm
yeah,
assuming,
like another job, family, other social media stuff that you have to do on top of that, life. You know what I mean? You gotta eat, sleep. So if you want to actually function, that's why so many people outsource a lot of their stuff. Like, so many people outsource their editing, and so many people outsource even their content. Like,
really?
People outsource Instagram and Pinterest and Facebook. Okay,
Pinterest I can see. Facebook maybe. How do you outsource Instagram? Unless you mean like memes. Because if you're video recording,
you could bulk. So this is how it works. In order for you to actually have content on a consistent basis without burning out, people bulk record content. So I mean, there's people
that's smart.
Yeah. So there's people who will record a whole month's worth of stuff in one day. So they already have like a schedule of their content, and they already have what ideas they want to do. All they do is change their t-shirt, especially if it's like a talking head video. They just change their t-shirt and boom, 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 they go throughout the day with topics. And then throughout the month, they do all the B-roll. So the B-roll is all the extra stuff that you see. So it's not just you talking and them just listening to you in your face. For all that, you could listen to a podcast if you just want to hear the audio. People do. Like, people will sit and watch a YouTube video if it's all audio, and they just will do other stuff. But so that's how people get away with Instagram, is they'll bulk photography. Like, I've done that, where I'll go out and I'll bring different outfits. And I'll just like take pictures with one thing on and then change and then do the same, and then you just go through, and then you have all this content for you to sporadically put out throughout the week. Now, according to what people have said about Instagram, is that now it's preferable to just do once a day, versus when back in the day people used to do like 3 times a day, morning, evening, at night, in order to get their audience. Nowadays people are saying no, once a day, because how the algorithm changed with Instagram is people have to interact with your content, and actually, if you post more than once a day, it starts diminishing the reach for your previous posts, so it actually hurts you. Now, this is all hearsay, that's what people are saying, because no one actually knows what the algorithm
really, because when people change, like who just changed theirs recently? Facebook put out a big public thing about how they were changing their algorithm and how they were gonna what kind of content they were going to choose to display with algorithms over other ones. So, like, they haven't done that with Instagram?
Well, the thing is, they don't... No company... So, Facebook gives out that information kind of like a, you know, like a op-ed or whatever, like
Okay.
just openly just saying that they're changing the algorithm, but they don't tell you the logistics of what triggers the algorithm for you to succeed. So like, they're just going to tell you like, oh, this is what we're doing and this is the kind of content that we were favoring, but they don't tell you like, oh, this is the format that we favor, this is the times that we favor, this is how you reach your audience, these are the imprints, this is the conversions. They don't tell you how that stuff works because they don't want people to game the system.
Oh, so that's why people hire social media people.
Yeah.
To figure that stuff out. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, all that being said, we'll get into that more, but thank you for making me feel very, very small in the brain. Today on The Grind, welcome back, folks, we have special guest, Vanessa Blanco. How are you doing, Vanessa?
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you for being here. You know, I definitely wanted to have 1 to 2 women, at least for this month, because it is Women's Month. You know what I mean? So have you checked out the Google Doodle? Have you been checking those out to see what they've been doing?
A few things. With school, I've just been hermit life, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you glad to finally be done with that? Are you taking a break between submitting your thingy?
Well, I'm still in class, so I still have a class that I'm taking. So it's like, yeah, I have somewhat of a break, but not really.
What are you studying right now anyway?
So, like, what class it is, or just the major?
Major.
Okay,
Boom.
so I'm higher education administration with a concentration in student affairs.
Okay.
The class that I'm taking right now is called Leading Higher Education, and it's one with a former president of George Washington University and his assistant. So he like teaches us and also brings speakers. So like we've had the former president of UBC, we've had the former president of I forget what that called. It's a bunch of places. We're gonna have like a former president from George Mason. So a lot of like local people as like outside people, and it's been really interesting to see how that works. Makes me not want to be a university president.
Really?
So, yeah. After that, because they even said it like, why would you want to be a university president after taking this class?
Money? I'm assuming money.
I mean, money for some places is okay. Like if you're at like Duke, you know what I mean, or a Harvard, or you know, a private university, then yeah, it's probably worth your while. But if you're at like a local or a community college, it's the money probably doesn't equal the amount of stuff that you're actually doing. Because you're the face of the university, and nowadays, like back in the day, it was a lot easier. It was easier to be a university president than nowadays, because the expectations are a lot higher. You know, students are now expecting the president to actually like go to every single student activity. You have to be present. They want you to be there. They want you to be relatable, authentic. They want to feel as if you care about, you know. So it's a lot more, and then parents have been a lot more involved in the process than before in past years. Years it was like, go to college, you're out of my house, peace. Now it's like, no, I'm paying for this education. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know who, you know, who's involved. I want to know why the president, and they'll call the president and be like, why is my kid not in this class? You know,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It's a president, not a principal. Yeah. That's two different.
But the thing is that I guess because they're paying, they feel it as though they have this entitlement and expectation that they are entitled to these things. Like, I'm entitled to this information. Yeah. So when all those, you know, acts, like FERPA and stuff passed, parents were pissed. Like, I'm paying $30,000-$40,000 a year. Like, some people are paying that much or even more for their kids to go to school, and you're not giving me my child's grades. Like, what? Yeah.
Is that the thing that said the grades will only go to the student or the person paying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, to the student. Like, they can't even give it to the person who's paying. So, yeah. So, it doesn't matter if grandma or dad are paying your tuition and it's clear in your accounts that they're paying your tuition. It doesn't matter. It's the student's information, and by law, they're not allowed to give out any of the student's information to anybody else without the student's written permission.
I mean, I guess that's okay. Like, if you're fully funded by the school or, like, government paying for your, like, tuition or something, that might make sense, where I don't think I want President Trump seeing my grades. Although I did go to a community college, and I never met, I'm not even sure if we had a president. I know we didn't have a mascot, so that wasn't The best experience. All right, that was on the education tip, but Vanessa, why are you here today? Tell the people what you're really about.
So I have a YouTube channel. It's like right now kind of on, I don't know, I guess it's successful. I don't know, I guess.
How would you define success then?
You know, it's difficult because a few years ago, I thought that reaching, because like I have over 100,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. So
That sounds successful.
Yeah, so I thought that was success, and that is. It's a huge milestone.
Yeah.
It's because very few people on the platform actually reach those milestones. I think there's like, according to like statistics, there's I think less than 80,000 people on the platform that actually have reached that milestone.
Really? Even with the video games and stuff? I know those are big. Video game streaming things.
So the thing is that, I mean, 80,000... So gaming channels can have tons of views, but it doesn't mean that people are actually going to subscribe to that content.
Okay.
So that's why there's... And so many people think that... So my thoughts when I first started the YouTube channel were like, oh, I'm just going to post videos and people are going to follow it.
Yeah.
And it's going to blow up and I'm going to get millions of views and this is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
When in reality, you post videos and it's crickets. No one watches them.
At all.
And then you're just like, why is no one watching this? Like, why only 10 people viewing this or 20 people or maybe 100 or so people? And then you don't understand like how these other people are getting millions of views for like stuff that
cats.
Yeah.
Cat videos.
Exactly, like cat videos or her gerbil videos, or just other stuff like that. And you're just like, this is good content that people would like, but it's not getting out there. And so it's a lot harder to figure out YouTube than I think any other platform. And Google has done that on purpose because they don't want people gaming the system.
Well, and I guess how long have you been doing the YouTube channel?
So I've had my channel for...
and what's the name of it? Sorry.
So the name is just my name. It's Vanessa Blanco. And I've had my channel for 2 years now, I want to say. Yeah, it's been 2 years. I started it in January of 2 years ago as a New Year's resolution. Because I've always loved YouTube. I've been watching YouTube since 2008. So since its inception, when it was created in 2006.
Yeah, I'm 28, so we're both kind of like YouTube babies in a way.
Exactly. Grew up on it.
Yeah.
And I grew up on it to the point where everything that I needed to find out, especially as a girl, back in the day, no one knew how to do their makeup. No one knew how to do their hair. It wasn't... Nobody. I mean, you would have to go onto I would go on the internet to learn how to do my hair. Different ways. Okay. Because and to do your makeup different ways. Now, the way how it's evolved, everybody goes on YouTube to figure out how to have proper makeup and proper hair care and stuff like that. Because back in the day, it was magazines, 17. Okay. Cosmopolitan, but nowadays, it's so much easier to just search on the internet how to dye my hair this color. True. Or how to, make my nails grow. How to, and that's, YouTube is the second largest search engine other than Google.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because anytime I look for something on Google, YouTube's going to pop up, and that's also because, that's their baby. But yeah, I've used YouTube for a lot of stuff. Probably, have you had any, if you're comfortable with sharing an embarrassing YouTube search, something you would be embarrassed but willing to share? For me, I think one was looking up how to jump a car, and I still did it wrong. I looked at the video, and it said plainly what to do, and I still did it wrong somehow. We had to call a tow truck, and he just did it right in front of my face. And I was like, oh, that's how they said to do it in the video. Have you ever had one of those moments?
I've had tons of those with those DIY videos. Okay. DIY this, and they make it look so easy, and then you try to do it, and it's just a complete shit show. So, I've had those instances where, and then also you have instances where it's clickbaity. So show you something, and then you have this expectation of what you're thinking you're gonna get, and then it's what the hell?
Yeah, please follow this link to the real website.
Yeah, stuff like that. And you're really? I came to you for an answer. Now you're sending me off. No, I'm good.
Don't they get money? Don't you make money after you get a certain number of views on a video, or is it only subscriber based now?
No, it's actually never been subscriber based.
not to get like I think like a pro channel or whatever it's called.
So what it is called the YouTube Partner Program for YouTube. Now this has changed. Since YouTube started, the Partner Program was only for you were invited to the Partner Program when it first started.
Okay.
And then you had to like submit your application or whatever, and even then you still had to figure out if you would qualify or not. And there were very select few channels that even got to the Partner Program. I think it was like in 2012 or like 2013 when they actually started the YouTube Partner Program, where they were monetizing the content. And I think I have my numbers right. So yeah, monetization on YouTube is still very, very early. I mean, it's only been about 6 years old.
But people are millionaires on there now, right?
Yeah.
Like a few. Not saying like everybody.
Yeah.
But they're definitely like, I know PewDiePie.
Yeah.
Is a big one. I know it's
Logan
a couple.
Paul and Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Brothers and Laz Lakoshi and all those people.
Yeah, there's plenty of people that are somehow making a living off of it.
Yeah.
And I think it'll grow too, especially with YouTube wanting to grow like its original content and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, YouTube is actually the only platform that now Facebook's trying to get on that bandwagon, but YouTube,
everybody,
yeah, YouTube's the only platform that actually shares the profit, like revenue, with the content creators. Instagram, you don't make no money off of Instagram. Every single Instagrammer, Instagram model, or Instagram famous person, the only way they're making money is through sponsorships and probably affiliate marketing.
Okay.
That's it. There's no way for you to make money off of Instagram just by posting stuff. YouTube, and even with Twitter, and even with Facebook in the past, now they're starting to do something different where you're able to monetize. They're trying to share the revenue with you, because they're trying to compete with YouTube on the video space. Twitch is one that they don't really make revenue. It's all about like membership fees or donations.
Oh,
So,
like a GoFundMe if you have a channel, kind of. Okay.
So Twitch is the live streaming thing, and it mainly started off for gamers. So people would play games, and people would just donate to them. It's very, very interesting. I don't understand the Twitch. I'm not on Twitch. I've kind of gotten to like look to see what it's about. Yeah. But yeah, people play games. But now Twitch is starting to evolve to the point where they're having other kinds of content. It's not just gamers anymore. There's comedy stuff. There's stuff. There's like a bunch of stuff, and it's just live stream. So it's evolving. But YouTube is one of the only platforms that actually shares the ad revenue with the people. So it doesn't matter. I mean, you could have literally 100 subscribers. Yeah. Well, back in the day, because now it's different. Back in the day, you could have had 100 subscribers, but if your content was getting 1 million+ views, you were making money off of those views, and it's based off of the ads that run on those videos. And how many people click them, or just how many times they get to play them? So it's kind of difficult without trying to get into like really specifics, because this could be an hour-long conversation about how you make money on that is true in YouTube. So the way it works is there's something called a CPM, which is like cost per, I forget, mil or something, or it's like a cost per impression kind of thing. Okay. And so in order for you to make money, people have to view the video, right? But they can't just click on the video and then go away from the video and you make money. So that's not how it works. Like, they have to click on the video. If you get an ad on the video, so if that person sees an ad and doesn't skip it, or depending on the type of video, a certain percentage of that ad revenue. Okay. It's literally pennies. So you would really have to get over, I think it's, so on average, when I first started YouTube, I had to reach over 100,000 views in order to even make $100. $100 still sounds nice though, at the end of the day. Yeah, but you have to think about it. Like, I didn't make money on YouTube till 6 months till I was doing videos. So 6 months of videos. So for 6 months, I wasn't making any money. Nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. I wasn't getting paid. I wasn't doing that. I was just making videos and posting content. They're making all right views. Like, on average, maybe a few thousand. So based off of those months that I've accumulated, I had to reach 100,000 views in a month. And so in total, in order to reach the minimum $100 payment threshold for YouTube.
Good. Next question then. So obviously there was plenty of time where you were doing it, I guess, out of labor of love. So what made you want to start the channel in the first place?
Yeah, so I started my channel as a New Year's resolution because it's because of the fact that I actually wanted to start my channel I want to start my channel in 08. Like 08, 09, I wanted to because I was watching the content and I was like, oh, I could see this. Like I can do this. Like this is so cool. And at that time nobody was making money. So me wanting to do it was just because I wanted to give people my opinions. Like I'm like, I can tell people, or I wanted to test things and show people the results and kind of help people understand like, oh, should you buy this or not? So that was kind of like my thing. Like I wanted to help people because I had so much crap that I would buy and I was just like, okay, does it work or not? And some stuff was crap. So I'm like, no, I want to tell people to not waste their money on garbage. So that's why I wanted to start my channel, was because I just wanted, I mean, I've always loved YouTube, the idea of it, just how it works and how people are able to create communities on there and just connections with people they've never even met. I don't know. And I'm not a starstruck person. Like I've never been, oh my God, obsessed with celebrities or screaming. Like if a celebrity walked in right now, like I would just be like, oh, okay. Like,
so there's no single celebrity that would be like, oh, let me just.
Yeah, I've never been obsessed. Like when I watch movies, I don't even know the celebrities' names. Like half the time,
really?
Like who I just remember, like, oh, I remember this person from this movie, but I don't even know who the hell their name is. Like I've never been that type of person where I'm like fandom. Like there's no fandom. Like it's very little fandom. Like if I like you, it's because I've built a personal relationship with you, and that's what YouTube does. So, and that's why I feel like I don't fan over celebrities because I feel like I can't relate to you. You know, I don't even know your personal life like that. Like, you know, whatever. You're just a person who provides entertainment content or whatever the heck you do. But I'm not obsessed with you. Versus on YouTube, like if I were to meet some people, I'd be like, oh my God, like I love your stuff. Like, you know, I feel like there's more of a connection because of their content, you feel as if you know that person on a personal level. And I feel like that's what is different on YouTube. And even Logan Paul, for example, a huge creator on the platform, he used to be on Vine before it died. And Vine, you know, the 6-second videos, he literally said, because he went to this VidCon, which is like this huge convention for video creators, so people, their fans can meet the creators. Yeah. And he went, and he didn't even tell anybody he was going. So he goes and he starts running through VidCon, and I'm telling you, masses of people, and these are kids, like probably tweens, you know. You just see, and it's Anaheim Convention Center. It's huge. You just see all these kids running in masses to try to get him to take a picture with this dude. Man, I'm telling you, like hundreds of
like thousands. Justin Bieber. Like if he was
exactly like if he was Justin Bieber. Like they're just going in masses. You see him. And just think this is hundreds of thousands of people, and they're just like in masses. And he did a video where he shows drone shots of him because he did it on purpose. So he shows videos of him running through VidCon, and he showed the drone shot of when people started seeing him. You can tell.
Oh, that's smart.
And it's just like, it's crazy. It's like ants to sugar. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous how this is. And he literally said, when I was on Vine, platform that's, you know, social media, I never experienced this kind of fandom. And why? It's because people are watching you and they're seeing you, and with him as vlogs, on a consistent daily basis, where they feel as though they're a part of your life. And they feel as though they know who you are because you're showing them parts of your life and, you know, interacting with them and talking to them and blah, 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 you know. So, so it's just different kinds of, I don't know. That's how I feel YouTube is just like better than other social media platforms, because you can see people as they are, versus on Instagram, for example, you post a picture, you put a caption, and like I said, there's people who are working behind the scenes. Like, for instance, I could pay someone right now to post all my social media content on Instagram. Like, I'd be like, here, these are the pictures, you edit them, you create the caption, and you respond to the comments. And no one probably would even know it's not me, because they don't, it's so just, I don't know, like, it's so curated. The content that you put on Instagram is very, very curated. And, you know, perfect. Some people do like, oh no, I gotta edit it to this thing, I gotta have a theme,
right.
Like all this stuff. And I've personally, like, when I've met people who I've seen on Instagram in person, I'm like, wow, so this is who you really are. I'm like, so this is how you really are in person. Because you see them and you think based on their captions, like, oh my god, they're like this cool person and they do these cool things.
Yeah, okay.
And then you meet them and they're just dry.
Well, I guess like a big difference from just hearing you is like Instagram, it really is about almost putting out the perfect face, because you got to worry about the hashtag game and all that stuff. And since the videos up to a moment, I think, are 60 seconds, they might still be up to 60 seconds, but you only have a finite amount of time to capture, you know, the attention span. But like YouTube, someone's going to your video, they know how long the video is probably already, so as long as you can keep them drawn in from the get-go, like they're willing to digest more of what you have to share.
Hey, this is Vanessa Blanco, and you're listening to On the Grind with Justin Brown. Don't forget to leave a 5-star rating on the podcast.
Is there anybody, I guess, is Logan Paul like somebody you look up to, or is there anybody on YouTube now, not like, you know, white man's my hero, but more like, is there anybody creating YouTube content right now you're like, okay, I would like to get to their level?
Definitely not Logan Paul.
You don't want to go to Japan and go through a forest of dead people?
No. I actually, to be honest, I feel like he's really he's, ever since that situation happened with him in Japan, he's put a bad taste in everyone's mouth in terms of like what YouTubers do and their kind of content that they put up. And he's lost, like Jenna Marbles, which is a huge YouTuber on the platform, over 10 million. She's an OG. She was there since the very beginning.
Wow. Okay.
And she's a comedian, or she does comedy videos, and I mean, really stupid stuff, but it's funny. It's
I believe it.
Stupid funny. And she said in her, I think it was a podcast, because she also has a podcast.
Okay.
And she said that he's lost all respect from the community. So it's one thing, like, for you to chase views and be top dog, lose the respect from the entire YouTube community. You have no allies. You have no people who will collab with you. You have no people who will, you know, you can turn to ask questions, to see what's up, or like, you have no friends. So it's just like, I would never want to be in his position, because like, you have so many frenemies. Like, they're not even.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just not a good. Like, he's making boatloads of money.
Still.
Hell yeah, kudos to him. I mean, apparently during that whole situation, he tripled in subscribers and views. So him not even posting made absolutely no difference. But it's because of the people that he's targeting. Little tweens and kids that are easily, you know, have influence and think that, oh man, I'm part of the low gang and, you know, all this other stuff.
Is that a real word, low gang?
That's what he calls them, the low gang.
It kind of it sounds like Kanye in a bit, because I've steadily grown more of a fan of Kanye with the more antics he's done up to a certain point, up until he dyed his hair blonde and went to go visit Trump. And I was like, okay, maybe you do need to go drink some water and sit down somewhere. But before then, like, Kanye was the prime example of all publicity is good publicity, and that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's
what that was. Yeah. Okay. So not Logan, or you're not part of the low gang.
No, hell no.
Is there anybody even like, so like, from, if you want to talk about this, the evolution of the being able to produce your videos, I think you started with like the single shots, and just talking directly for extended a period of time into the, you know, the camera, and then some of the later videos I saw, mostly less than 10 minutes. You switched up your production style to what a lot of people are doing now, from like, I think like a 10-second here, 10-second here, 10-second here kind of average to maintain attention spans and stuff. Like, what have, from the start till now, where have your areas of both growth been? And then at the same time, what obstacles have you seen that you've tried to?
Areas of improvement. Number one, I started off with my iPhone.
True.
So I didn't even have a camera. So I started off with an iPhone, a little janky tripod from Amazon that was like less than $10 from Amazon Basics. And I just started recording with the front facing, not even the back, not even the good camera, with the front camera.
Oh, really? The 1.2 megapixels.
The front camera of the iPhone, and I just started doing videos because it's all I had. And then I also had a MacBook from '08. It was a dinosaur, and it was with iMovie. That's it. That's all I used in the beginning. Probably, it wasn't till I started school when I actually upgraded my computer and my camera, and so I started off like that, and it was okay for talking head videos, and sometimes for like videos like when I would go to the gym, like, and I'd post those. I had to private some of those videos because they're so bad. The production value was shit. It was just non-existent. It was so bad. But I was just posting videos to post because it's all about the experience. Like, you need to have shitty content in the beginning in order for you to grow, especially if you have no video production experience, no editing, like, if you don't know crap diddly squat about any of this stuff, all your videos are going to be crap. But
so I'm doing okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So you're fine. This is the growing stage.
Yeah.
And then later on, once you build up your experience, but also your audience base, because a lot of people say there's no point in you spending thousands of dollars on camera equipment, editing software, getting all of this production stuff for you to start, and then no one watches your stuff, and then you have 3 to 4 years and you still have no audience, and then you've done, I mean, unless you like super love the stuff and care less if anyone's watching it or who you're reaching or whatever you're doing, then, you know, fine, continue, and hopefully that paid off for you.
Right.
But for the most part, everyone who starts off, they always think I have to have the latest camera, I have to have the best lens, the best lighting, I have to, you know, the best editing software, and all they care about is the materialistic stuff that's
to make it look nice.
To make it look nice.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you could have the best production quality, but the content is shit. Casey Neistat literally said content is king.
Who's that?
He's another top YouTuber.
Okay, cool. Just make it context.
He's a bigger time YouTuber, probably one of the more popular ones. And I mean, he said it in his videos time and time again. Content is king. Like, it's all about the story. I mean, you could be filming out of a potato and no one would care as long as the content is good. For instance, back in the day, you know, when people were filming out of the webcams of their computer.
Yeah, grainy, choppy.
Yeah, no one cared that it was grainy and choppy because the content was funny, entertaining, informative. But they do say that lighting is a huge deal. Like, you could be filming out of your iPhone or Android or whatever camera you got, but as long as your lighting is on point, people will they will forgive you for your quality as long as they can see you and hear you clearly. Now, if people will stop watching a video if your sound is trash. Like, if it's so annoying where you like static and wind and you can't hear what you're doing or see what you're doing, people will stop watching it. It doesn't matter if it was filmed out of a $30,000 camera or a $20 camera.
And that's true for like comedy too, because like when you submit tapes to clubs, right? Mm-hmm. As much as the video is nice, if they can't hear any of the jokes and they can't hear the audience's feedback, if there's too much crackling or static or stuff like that, then they're going to trash it because they don't know what they're going to get. So why would they be interested in you? Yeah. Because I know you have different styles for different audiences and stuff. What has been obstacles? Do you think you have, and this is important, and I definitely want to bring this up with you specifically, do you think you have to face more obstacles potentially in the field of the social media game, you being a woman and or because of race? So
I think for sure. I think, well, first of all, and this other person has said it too, like other YouTubers, female YouTuber content creators, has said that they've never experienced like so much sexual harassment and just like hate on the internet. Like, you will. It surprises me that people feel as though they have the right, because they're anonymous, to say some of the most sick and crazy things to random people on the internet. Like, I've seen, and to keep in mind, I feel like sometimes it's little kids with nothing better to do on some random Google account they created that go on and just start saying some of the weirdest it's I don't get it.
Do you have, what's the weirdest non-disturbing one you've gotten?
Non-disturbing?
I mean, non-disturbing to you, but might be disturbing to other people. I don't know.
I mean, I've gotten stuff where people were like, have said that they would like to smell socks and certain things, like weird things. They want to see my feet and
fetishes. Okay,
like,
that's not that bad.
Maybe some people, but I'm just like, what? This is. I mean, I've seen people have threatened people on the internet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Definitely.
I don't think I've ever experienced anyone threaten me, because the thing is, even growing up, I've always had a smart ass mouth. Okay. So if you put a comment on there and it's a stupid comment, like you can clearly tell that the person is doing it out of hate or just out of ignorance, I'm gonna pump the brakes on you real quick.
So you respond to all of them?
I respond to almost 100% of my videos. So, and that's another thing that people are like, oh wow, you have so many subscribers, but you still take the time out of your day to respond to almost everybody. And people have said that because that's the biggest piece. What's the point of having an audience when you don't communicate with them?
True.
So, and at the same time, like for instance, for me, I'm not going to comment on your videos if you don't ever respond to nobody, or even like it or show a heart or nothing. And I get it, like people get busy, but I'm like, take an hour out of your day to respond to the people that made you who you were. I mean, that's just point blank period. I've always been a humble person where I always remember where I came from, and and that's what people always say, like, oh my God, you're so real, you're so relatable, you're so authentic, because just because I have this platform within a bigger audience than most people doesn't make me any better than anybody else.
Right.
And that's what people forget, because as soon as they get 100,000, oh my God, I'm a movie star. You ain't nobody. Who are you? Like, no. But I've seen people like threaten, and the thing is, it's always, from what I've seen, it's always been when women go on channels that are mainly male dominated. So especially like in the fitness scene or whatever, there's like some male dominated platforms, like channels.
That's right? Like clearly male dominated, or yeah, I would think fitness might be closer to being balanced than like I enjoy rap videos, like underground battle rap and stuff. That's male dominated. They have female leagues, they have female battlers, they've had inner battles like man versus woman types and stuff. So there, and plus rap is, especially more so lately, a lot more misogynistic than a lot of different things. So you're definitely going to see things there, whether it's like clowning on a person or making sexual comments and things like that. But I would think for like fitness, it would be that there's a huge disparity between.
So, well, it just depends on what kind of fitness you do. Because there's different subcultures in fitness. Like you have bodybuilding, you have powerlifting, you have like other people who just want to run half marathons. And maybe the general population, that fitness is more like 50%, like everybody's just like, oh, whatever. Depending on the type of stuff that you do, can be very, like, bodybuilding is male dominated.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And if you're a female and you're successful in bodybuilding, they automatically think you're on steroids. Or even the guys who are in bodybuilding, they automatically think are on steroids. Powerlifting, same thing, very male dominated. If a girl goes on to a guy's channel, their population is probably 80% male. Because the people who are watching them are trying to get tips or just know about their life nowadays. What I've seen girls go on their channels, and number one, they're sexualized completely. Like,
you mean in the video, like collab, or do you mean like comments? Okay, no, I just wanted to distinguish.
In the video,
okay.
In the thumbnail, they use the girl as clickbait. That's number one. So they use her as clickbait, and then in the entire video, they pretty much show her very sexualized, and then the comments are literally like, I would ram her into a blah, blah, blah. You know, like just stuff. We're just like, really? And then it's just, even when guys try to put girls on their channels, even if it's like a girlfriend, introducing their girlfriend, you'll still see some sicko comments like, just, ugh. But I feel like guys get a lot of like hate from guys. Like guys don't ever, I don't know. From what I've seen on guys' channels, they'll start going like joning on the guy and like dissing him and like stuff like that. But like on girls, you see some nasty catty comments where it's just like, I don't know. It's just.
I mean, it sounds like then YouTube is just really a reflection of what happens, like on the street in daily life,
exactly,
for better or for worse.
Yeah, but I feel like it's heightened because I mean, there's forums, like there's a forum called Guru Gossiper, where people will literally get on the forum to talk trash about content creators. And that's the entire sole purpose of the forum. And you can tell.
That's sad.
Very sad. And you can tell that it's mainly women. Because they'll trash on beauty gurus, they'll trash on fashion gurus, on fitness. And people have said some nasty. Now, I'm from the city. I was born and raised here. Okay. And when I saw that, I was just like, I wish y'all would come up to me and say some crap like that. I'm like, that doesn't fly where I'm from. People, like back in the day, and I've said it on Snapchat and social media, where I was like, this only had like this catty crap where people feel as though they can go and start doing the burn, book, like Mean Girls type shit and think that they can get away with that crap is like the suburb crap. Like that shit they do in the suburbs. In the city, we don't do that. If you had a problem with somebody, you went up to them and you told them in their face that, or someone heard it and then they approached you and confronted you and it was all hands on deck. That's how it was. You don't sit there and talk trash and think you're gonna get away with it and no one's gonna do anything to you or say anything to you. That never flew. Like when I went to high school, no, never.
How many of y'all were posting online anonymously though? That's the thing. Like it's basically what Twitter fingers turn to trigger fingers type thing. It's internet confidence that a lot of people have. Because I was talking to my uncle before about basketball and stuff and how that was even prevalent back when, I guess, when the radio was around, or however old he is. It's like there's pre-existing ways that people have done it just through different mediums. So when you don't have to put yourself out there, when other people are putting themselves out there, people are just going to feel a lot more confident about themselves to do it. Exactly.
No, and that's what I'm saying. But even then, even now, because I work in a high school, so I see it even in the present. If people are talking trash on the internet, the kids will still go up to that person once they find out, because they got screenshots of this and that, and they'll still be like, I heard you were talking trash, and boom, 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 and over. But I feel like maybe I'm also generalizing, because I don't live in the suburbs, I've never experienced it, but from...
It's all right.
Is it?
It's all right, yeah.
But I feel like it's just different. It's a different culture. Like, people don't go... Like, it's probably more, like, taboo to go up to people and start, telling them, hey, I heard this, that, like, what the hell? Like, people probably don't approach them as often as if you lived in the city and were like, no, like, it doesn't... No.
It's probably because if I were to... What's the likelihood of you running into this person? Probably strengthens...
Very unlikely.
Or it makes you turn one way or feel more encouraged another way to either do something or to stray away from it. So if you feel like there's going to be confrontation, you're going to think twice about, or you're going to think a little bit deeper about whether or not you're going to do something, unless you're just that kind of person. But if you're getting bused to school every day versus like everybody knows the way you walk home from school, it's probably going to be a different way about how you handle your interactions and what you say about people.
Exactly.
Hey, this is Justin. Keep listening. Do you feel, in terms of race, then, do you feel I think you said yes already, that it does affect it.
My situation is kind of different, though, because, both my parents are Mexican, and, like, that's how I grew up.
Okay.
But I don't look stereotypically like a Hispanic person. I look like I'm white. So, even in my videos, people would be like, who is this white girl? Who the hell does she think she is?
Last name is Blanco, though.
Yeah, but even then, people still don't put two and two together. Like, I don't understand, like, my last name is Hispanic. I don't get why people don't get it, but hey, whatever. Guess neurons in there. I don't know.
Do you carry yourself, you think, more culturally Hispanic, or how do you carry yourself, you think? And do you think that impacts how people might perceive you?
Culturally Hispanic. I don't talk Spanish on my video. Like, I don't speak in Spanish in my videos. Like from here and then, like, sometimes like some slang words will pop out in Spanish.
Sure.
But I've never portrayed myself in a way that I haven't been in real life. If that makes sense.
So you've never tried to hide it or anything like that? Right.
Like, I've never have I ever, like, growing up, I feel like this was kind of like a curse, the fact that I look so light. I got light skin, and I look because I felt like I never fit in to an area, because people, when they see me, they're like, oh, what the hell, but then when I open my mouth, they're like, oh, okay. Like what and the people who I hung around with and the people who I grew up with, so I've never fit into a stereotypical group. Like, there was never people, I don't even nowadays, like when I go to places and like, for instance, I recently went to a wedding with my boyfriend, and I guess he looks more Hispanic than I do, and his workers, like, one of them knows me, and so she joked with another one and said, oh yeah, she doesn't speak Spanish. So the lady was speaking to me in English, like if I was like some, you know, like if I didn't know, and I'm like, no, I speak Spanish, like I'm Hispanic, like my mother would disown me if I didn't speak Spanish.
Okay.
And but still, even though I told her like, no, I speak Spanish and I'm Mexican, like what the hell, she still was talking to me in English throughout the entire wedding.
Was she saying like condescending stuff, or no, things that insult your intelligence? Or?
No, it wasn't anything like that. It was just kind of like she kept thinking as if I couldn't understand her in Spanish. And even when I've had other interactions, people thought I was Russian. Like, I'm in a
I can see that.
I'm in a place and with all these other Hispanic people, and they think, they're like, oh, who's that Russian girl? What? No, like, what? I don't know. But I mean, I can't change how I look, like, unless I like dye my hair black and, you know, try to tan my skin. Like, but this, at the same time, I try on my channel to tell people that, like, I really wanted to do a video where it was like talking about the stereotypes of why do you think I look white? Like, why do you think that I'm white? You know what I mean? And why am I not Mexican? Even my kids, my students, oh, you're Mexican? And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, you don't look Mexican. And I'm like, what the hell do Mexicans look like? I'm like, because if you, I'm like, and then they're like, then they stop. They're like, oh crap, like I'm stereotyping you. Yeah, you're stereotyping me. Because there's tons of Hispanic people that look like, you know, Native Americans, that look African American, that look Asian. Like, we don't come in a set stereotypical like form and shape and size and color and skin tone. Like, it's all variations of what we look like, but we're still either whatever we want to, you know, identify as: Mexican, Dominican, you know, Panamanian, Colombian, etc. So I wanted to do a video like in the future, because I'm like sick and tired of it. Like, I get it, because apparently I did a video about curvy girl life hacks, and it was just kind of like a video, you know, random, you know, something I wanted to do, because for me, my definition of curvy is just you have curves on your body.
Yep.
Like, plain and simple. There's some people that don't. Some people who are naturally straight or naturally just don't have a shape, you know.
And good for you. You're not any worse. You're just not any better. But
yeah, exactly. Like, and it was just a video to help curvy girls kind of like accentuate what they have, to not like hide it, to not, you know, or just to kind of like more of a confidence kind of thing.
And on behalf of men, let me also just say thank you as well.
You know, just things like that. But there was, and that video like went viral to the point where people, and the reason I feel like it went viral is because people were in the comment section going at each other's throats about whether or not I could consider myself a curvy person. And some people were like, what the hell are y'all talking about? She's clearly curvy. She's not straight down, has shape, she has hips, you know, like, it's clear that she's curvy. But other people were like, oh no, you're not fat, you're not blah blah blah. And then my thing was like, I'm like, okay, first of all, you could be 230 whatever how many pounds, still be considered curvy. You can also be like 130, 145 pounds and still be considered curvy. Yeah. There's no, like, just because, and so people on the internet think that just because you call yourself this, that means this is the sole definition of this, and if you don't fit this little box, then you can't be anything else. And
were there any, I guess, demographic trends in terms of who was taking what sides of the argument, or was it anybody and everybody?
Anybody and everybody, and it was exactly. It was anybody and everybody, and then it was just like, there was this one comment that I actually pinned. The girl who literally broke it down and was like, first of all, you could be and she literally said you could be curvy at 300 pounds, you can also be curvy at 130 or less. Like, it doesn't, what matters is your bone structure and whether or not you have hips on your body. Some people are naturally straight and don't have any curves on their body, and some people bone structure has them so that they're able to have curves on their body. Curvy is not it's not like solely based on your weight, whether you're, you know, quote unquote fat or skinny. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with your shape. Because I guess there's been a movement or whatever where people now consider plus size curvy, which is still accurate. Like, there are plus size women who are curvy and vice versa. My thing is, like, people thought that if you're not this kind of shape, then you can't be curvy.
Is that like a Beyonce shape, or is that more like a...
I mean, first of all, people in the comment section contradicted themselves all the time.
Okay.
Some people were saying, oh, but you know, J-Lo is hourglass, like, that's curvy. But I'm like, J-Lo's also 130 pounds. So, and I'm 140 pounds right now. So I'm trying to say. And at the same time, like, at the time of doing that video, I was a lot slimmer. Like, I was less weight than I am now. So I'm like, so technically, because I gained weight, am I curvy now? Like, is that what I'm like? I don't understand. So, I mean, from that video, I just learned that you just, people are gonna see things the way they want to see it. Like, you can't really I don't know. Like,
haters gonna hate. I think at the end of the day, that's what that sounds like.
But at the same time, I feel like it's also ignorance. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the people who watch YouTube, like, my demographic on YouTube is, the majority of them are 18 to 34. Like, 70+% of my population are women between the ages of 18 and 34.
Okay. Is that the group you targeted, or that's a group that naturally filtered down to?
Well, that's a group that I want to target.
Okay. No, right.
Like, I mean, I have a percentage of guys. Why they watch me, I have no idea. I mean, I kind of have an idea, but I'm like,
of course. Comments.
Like,
and
I just... yeah, some people have weird, I don't know.
I mean, it would be nice if our clothes were as cheap as yours. You know what I mean? So maybe someone's trying to sneak in there and like, hey, if I can fit this, who's going to be the wiser? Yeah. But men's clothes are just generally more expensive. And it's on behalf of men, again, it's not fair.
Yeah. But at the same time, you guys always get more shoes than we do. Like, for instance, with sneakers, y'all always get the colorways and the releases, because every single time I try to get a shoe, it's never in my size. And do
you buy the men's or the women's size?
So it's either or, because I can fit men's sizes, but they come in kids. There's some colorways that do not come in kid sizes. And I'm like, really? And then the women's colorways are always pastels and pinks and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I'm monochrome. Like, just give me neutral colors. I don't need no pastel pink or purple. I don't understand why you're giving me stereotypical female or feminine colors. This colorway, and you give the guys the colors that I actually wear.
Because people still buy them, I guess. Like, and it's weird because I know a lot more dudes are wearing like a pink or like a light blue, like Easter egg colors and stuff. Yeah. It would be nice probably if we just switch the colors around for a day. Y'all could have.
Or they could just make the colors available in all sizes.
But yeah, I don't have an argument against it. So, about to wrap up in a little bit. Let's see. Oh, I guess, yeah, if you can just expand upon, for people that don't know, what are the different kinds of videos you do and why, if there's a why behind it?
So in the very beginning, my videos were solely based on the fact that I was really into fitness, and because it was a New Year's resolution, I was trying to lose weight and get more muscle definition and tone. Yeah. But at the same time, I started getting into powerlifting, so I wanted to get stronger. So I was also building on my strength. So the bulk of the beginning of my videos were solely fitness based. Now, and I've transitioned, and I'm trying to transition my channel into more of a not just like, I guess, more of like a personality kind of thing, but also more into sportswear and just like also just like the style pieces, because to be realistic, like a lot of the stuff that people wear in the gym, like I guess the stereotypical fit spos, like they'll wear certain things in the gym. I won't wear that in the gym. Like, I'm not gonna wear that. Like, there's something.
You're talking about women specifically or anybody?
Well, no, I'm talking about like women.
Okay.
Specifically, like, I'm not gonna wear like a crop top, you know, with like a halter kind of thing to the gym with the back exposed. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Kind of thing, but that's just my personal preference. It has their own personal preference, and I'm not also shitting on their personal preference. Like, if shoot, that's what you want to wear, go for it. That's you.
Yes.
But for me, I'm good. Like, I'm good. Hoodies and.
So are you more, I guess, performance wear, or are you more so comfort?
I feel like I'm more of a combo of it. I've transitioned more into, like, I guess you could call it like street style / sportswear / comfort wear, because you can't, like, so Nike has different and even Adidas, they have different categories of what their clothing fits into.
Okay.
And Nike has their performance stuff, which is like solely based for performance. Like, you wear it and it's for running, it's for, working out, it's for whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Like, that's its purpose. But then they also have the sportswear,
Okay.
which is more for, like, every day. And it's for, going out, you still look put together, but you kind of look like you're going to go to the gym, maybe not.
It's street ball wear kind of.
Exactly. It's what's called athleisure wear. That's what the magazines are calling it.
Sweatpants. Okay.
Yeah, your joggers,
Yeah.
things like that. So I've transitioned more into that style.
Okay.
And I'm also trying to transition my channel to be more of, like, a personality than just like information based. And that's been the hardest piece, because the bulk of my videos have been very fitness centric, which is great, because that's what my channel, like, that was the reason why I started.
Yeah.
But I've also transitioned into wanting to do other things, like showing more of my personality versus just, oh, this is how you do this is how you build this muscle group, this is and just giving information, because this is the what I think is the most success, or the reason why there are YouTube channels that are really, really successful, is because they're personality based.
So, like, share more of your opinion, or how are you?
I guess it's more like building the community so that people, when they watch your content, they're not just coming because of the content, they're coming because of you. So they want to watch your stuff because it's you giving out the information, because they like you as a person, they like your personality, they trust you, they feel like they've built a relationship with you. So I could put out a video about a potato and still watch it because it's me putting out a video of a potato, versus me putting out a video of, like, just how to, informative, like, this is, kind of thing. So I'm trying to transition my channel into more of, like, things that I have fun doing. Because I'm not gonna lie, like, the burnout is so real. Like,
I believe it.
The burnout is so real, especially when I work full time, and then I also go to school, and then trying to do this and everything that has to do with it. Like, the fact that I get sleep is a miracle sometimes, because it's so much that it's just ridiculous. And so the burnout is so real, to the point where you could even, so many YouTubers have, like, anxiety and depression because it's so freaking, like, it's anxiety driven. There's people who've come out and said that they fear putting out videos because of what's going to happen to them. Because, for instance, like, I put out a few videos recently where I'm like, oh my God, I loved these videos. Like, I put my heart and soul into making these videos, and it was a completely out of my comfort zone. It was something completely different on my channel. And then they get alright views. So it's just like, damn, like, I literally put hours into production, hours into editing, and for y'all to just not even watch the full video is a complete, like, to me, it's like a spit in the face. Like, it's just like, oh.
The payoff wasn't worth it.
Yeah, and it's not just, like, chasing views, but it's just like, I worked so hard on this. I want everyone to see this, because this is so good. And I guess that's my opinion. That it's so good. And everyone thinks so.
But you gotta have confidence in your work, right?
Yeah.
Like, especially if you're a person who prides himself on quality, like, everything you do needs to look a certain way for you to feel good about putting it out in the first place.
Yeah.
So
and at the same time, like, I'm trying to separate myself, because fitness on YouTube is so different than just regular content on YouTube. Like, they're not even on the same. I feel like it's just, because YouTube obviously has different subcultures.
Yep.
In all, intertwined in it. But what I noticed when I went my first year going to VidCon was that no one cared about fitness YouTube at VidCon, because you all have to think about the demographic that VidCon is, hosting, which the majority of them are very young.
Okay.
A freaking 13-year-old doesn't give a crap about working out. Like, I mean, most of them don't. They don't care about that. What they watch, I mean, but you'd be surprised how many beauty gurus they watch and how many other people, others, like other stuff that they watch. And you're like, what the hell? But whatever. And so when I saw that, like, it made me feel not a part of the community. Like, being at VidCon and not necessarily being noticed, like, whatever.
Is that their, like, Super Bowl? Is that, like...
It's like, yeah. It's like the Super Bowl of, like...
social media
YouTube.
people. Okay.
Yeah. It's the event. Like, if you're not a featured creator at VidCon, it's like, who are you?
Fair enough.
Yeah, so it's very... I don't know. But to me, it just made me... that's what... When I went to VidCon, it made me remember why I fell in love with YouTube. Like, that kind of content is what I want to do. The content where I'm having fun doing it, and it's interesting to me. It's still related to the things that I'm interested in. It's just, I don't know, I'm having more fun doing it. Versus, like, with the fitness stuff, like, it's great, but I feel like you very rarely build connections and grow in that field than, like, regular YouTube content.
All right, well... No, it makes sense. So, in terms of transitioning yourself to more of a YouTube personality with your next series of videos, this might be the last question, but hopefully it's a good one. Picture yourself, not to put it grimly, but like on your deathbed almost, right? And you're looking back over your life. You were able to do YouTube all your life. How will you know, looking back on your life and everything you've done, YouTube, social media, and building yourself as a personality, how will you define yourself being successful at it?
Well, to me, I feel like, for me, success on YouTube is when I get to do it every day and don't have to worry about anything else. So, like, that to me is being successful, where not only do I get to do what I love every day, but I also get to reach the right population that I'm targeting. And that's kind of, and then with that platform, being able to do other things, like, for instance, like, I don't know, volunteer at, like, foundations, be a speaker at like events, for, like, empowering and inspiring other women, that kind of stuff. And then even or people like me, like girls like me who need kind of, like, better influences or just someone to look up to, kind of thing. Like, that's kind of what I feel would be successful, is when I'm able to just do what I want to do without having to do other things, aka work this full-time 9 to 5, to compensate for YouTube. You know what I mean?
To, like, getting paid to do what you want to do, and then also being seen as a resource.
Yeah.
For others in the community. Okay.
Yeah, I would say that would be the most successful piece, because, like, right now, like, my job is like my sponsor.
Yeah.
For the content.
Pays the bills and stuff.
Yeah, it pays the bills, and then, YouTube it's just YouTube. YouTube pays for itself. Until
that becomes
which is hard.
Income.
Because when you're juggling work and that, it's just it's difficult.
All right, well, here's the last question, and you've been a wonderful guest, Vanessa Blanco. What is one piece of advice you would give to someone who's looking to go into the field of building themselves as a social media presence, personality, whether in fitness or anything else? And it could be specific to YouTube, or it can be broader. If you can make it broader, but what's one piece of advice you can give to people? Like myself.
One piece is going to be very difficult because I have so many pieces.
Or like 3 small ones.
So, well, number one, if you're trying to do it for the money, I'm sorry to inform you, it's not as great. And it's not as, like, fantastic as people think it is. Especially if you're, like, starting out. So, like, if you think that, oh, this is a quick money kind of thing, and I'm going to be able to make millions and quit my job and Like, maybe if you're working at a McDonald's or a Chipotle or a Sephora, it would be realistic for me to quit my job right now. But when you have a salary with health benefits and a retirement plan, it's a little harder to quit that job. Making this little change on the YouTube.
It's a bigger sacrifice.
It's a huge sacrifice, because when you're self-employed, you have to then figure out how the hell you're going to pay for all that stuff on top of everything else that you have to pay for in a regular life. And I have a mortgage, so I own a home.
Jesus.
So it's like, oh crap, I have actual adult responsibilities. You know what I mean? I don't just live at home with my mama doing videos.
Right.
I mean, that's not... So I will say that if you're trying to get into this solely for money, it's going to be very, very difficult. I mean, at the same time, people will see right through your bullshit, and they will not... They won't fuck with you, because I mean, I've seen it firsthand when I was growing. People doing things in such a vindictive way and kind of like begging people to follow them and subscribe to their content, and would even like guilt trip people and bring up their kids, like, oh please, my kid I'm over here trying to support my kid. Like, what? No, like, do this because you love the content that you're doing it. Do it, love the platform and the people on the platform and what you can do on the platform. Do it because of that. Don't do it because of money, because you're gonna be very sad. I mean, maybe in the long run, like if I was doing this full time and I had to worry about work, then maybe it would pay off because I'd be able to put more time into it. But at this very moment, it's just, it paid for school. Like that's what it did in itself. So that's the first piece. Second piece is, do not change who you are in order to please everybody, because that is gonna get you. Because as soon as you get one hate comment, you're gonna be like, oh my god, like, oh, they hate my voice, or they hate the way I look. They hate because people will be like, oh, I hate your voice, or I hate your face, or you can't change who you are. Be you, because the people who are going to like you, there will be people out there that either will relate to you, that will like you because of your personality, that will like you for you. Don't change who you are because you're trying to be more accepted by a larger amount of people. Because in the long run, you'll lose yourself. You'll lose everybody else who fucked with you in the beginning. And those people are really people that probably are riding with you till the very end. Are the people that subscribe when you were when you had nothing, when you had one subscriber, which was yourself and your mama. Those people are important. And then also the third piece is to always interact with the people in your audience. Like, if some platforms are a lot harder than others to do that on, but specifically on YouTube, like, it's all social media is based on interacting, socializing. Like, that's what it was for you to be able to socialize with other people even though they were not there in front of you. So it gave you more access to socializing and to building relationships with people. There's no point in you putting out this information for you to not even build on conversations with those people and to get to know them, or to even just interact with them on a bait. Like, it doesn't have to be every day. You don't have to be sitting there on the phone with them. But like, if they took the time out of their day to watch your 10-minute, 3-minute, 15-minute, 20, whatever,
30 seconds, anything, then
and they've had the extra time to write you a comment, you need to take the time out of your damn day to respond back to them. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters to them. Because even some people are like, holy crap, you responded? Like, they get shocked because you respond. Which is ridiculous to me, because I'm like, what the hell do you mean I've responded? Like, I should respond. You commented. Like,
freaking, I'm pretty sure it's just after a certain point, people are going to see you as out of reach.
Yeah.
But once you extend your hand out, it's a totally different feeling.
Yeah.
It is a totally... Vanessa, you just dropped 3 gems that I think can apply to pretty much any field. Because I know that the stuff you said definitely applies to you and people trying to blow up in social media. Definitely applies to comedy and stand-up and becoming any sort of celebrity or wanting to get better in your field. Are there any last thoughts, comments, feelings you want to share? Or if not, it's cool. You can just tell them where to find you. Not really? Okay, so where can the people find you?
So my YouTube channel is obviously my name. It's Vanessa Blanco. You can search it on YouTube. You'll find me. Probably
Yep.
Top person or whatever the hell. And then Instagram, it's at @IMVBlanco. And that's the same for Twitter and for Snapchat. And I'm on Facebook. I really don't use Facebook.
Okay. All right, Vanessa. Well, thank you for being on the On the Grind podcast. This has been Justin Brown. My guest today is Vanessa Blanco. Please check her out on all the social medias. We'll put it in the description. I don't know why I keep banging the table, but I'm doing it. Thank you all three of you, whoever you are, for listening. And we'll see you next time. Till then.